A footman who makes a fortune from an invention of an alarm clock or a society maven who arranges for her daughter to date a duke are just two examples of how the Gilded Age captures the era's starry-eyed aspirations. This season of the HBO drama is the strongest yet because of the underlying tension in the numerous narratives. Gladys, who walked down the aisle in tears, is now refusing to stay in England and is fighting off an overbearing sister-in-law with the help of her mother, Bertha Russell. The truth is revealed in a number of ways in a packed episode, including the rest of the Forte household learning about Jack's newfound wealth. Problems in the Russells' personal and professional lives are common. The greatest shock is reserved for the last scene, when an unexpected tragedy reveals New York City was as dangerous for pedestrians in the 1880s as it is today. In the newspapers, Marian finds out where Larry was actually the night of their engagement. Peggy tells Dr. William Kirkland about her past, and Oscar confronts Maud Beaton. When Bertha first arrives in Sidmouth, the customary courteous banter about her travels is exchanged, but Lady Sarah quickly dominates the conversation. When Bertha asks Hector about the king's room, where she will be resting, Sarah responds that it is William IV, the king who ruled before Queen Victoria. Bertha soon discovers that Lady Sarah is essentially in command. Since Lady Sarah has been heard to claim that she is wearing Gladys down like a puppy in training, breaking this pattern will require Gladys to assert herself. It's Bertha's maid, Miss Andre, who shares this comment with her mistress. Her maid hears everything, of course. Bertha quickly exacts revenge by making fun of Lady Sarah during dinner by challenging the reasoning behind her anti-suffrage position. It is entirely fitting, given how Lady Sarah addressed Gladys during her first dinner in front of their guests. Even though Lady Sarah deserves this public humiliation, Gladys cautions her mother the next day that she will not take it well. Although Bertha is not one to back down, she is aware that Gladys must take the initiative. This couple is now working together after bickering at the beginning of the season. Instead of depressing herself, Gladys seeks her mother's counsel. Gladys must become indispensable, Bertha realizes. The next Duchess will prove her value beyond money if she can show that she cares about the estate. Gladys and Bertha's relationship is once again harmonious, but the news back home is tense. The tabloids are still publishing rumors from inside the Russell residence, this time regarding Larry's engagement. When the newspapers learn that George is currently residing at the Union Club rather than his home, what will happen? Since work on the Illinois Central Line issue is stalled due to the lack of a majority owner, J.P. Morgan has really called George out of the fact that Clay, George's former secretary, is now working for Mr. Sage surprises him. The Merricks reluctantly agree to sell George enough shares to become the majority owner, believing that Sage will bleed the company dry. George is unconcerned that they cannot make it official until they return to New York, where their lawyers will be present. Unfortunately, Clay knows where George has buried all of his financial bodies, including the fact that Russell Industries is on the verge of disaster. What better place to spill these details than on the front page of the newspaper? George is certain that Clay is the source, as only his former secretary knows certain details. Dead, and I don't think he's kidding, but it's difficult to know. The Merricks have withdrawn, Russell Industries stock has fallen, and 2 banks are in danger of failing. George is determined to locate the funds. He doesn't find the money, reader. He will not get a nickel or a shilling from anyone on either side of the Atlantic. But rather than give in to Clay, George would prefer to see his company burn and go through a financial crisis similar to the one that occurred in 1873. George is unaware that Larry has discovered copper, or gold, in the Arizona mines. Larry could end up saving his father if he closes the agreements in time. Larry has no idea that his engagement is failing back in New York. Oscar tells Marian that her fiancé saw Maud Beaton while he was out, which makes Marian think Larry has been hiding something from her. In addition to his initial error of lying, Larry lacked the common sense to inform Jack that he was not telling Marian the truth. Jack's poker face is awful. He looks perplexed when Marian inquires about Delmonico's, then he makes reasons to go instead of checking their whereabouts. Marian mentions Maud Beaton during dinner, and Oscar affirms that the woman who embezzled the Van Ryn fortune is back in town and working at a club. Is this a reputable establishment? Agnes inquires. When he tells Marian it isn't, Oscar gives her a pitying look. When they are alone, Marian confronts Oscar about this house of ill repute. Oscar thinks Marian shouldn't jump to conclusions. Likely, Larry was just having a sociable evening. Oscar is accurate, but Marian is skeptical because to past experiences with bad guys like Mr. Rakes, who left her high and dry when he found she had no money. When Peggy returns from Philadelphia, Marian informs her of the. Agnes is happy that Marian is ending the engagement, while Ada believes their niece should wait. Marian refuses to heed Ada's advice and tearfully delivers a breakup letter to the Russells for when